guys, welcome back to the Knitting Eillets Podcast. Today from a really gloomy Sunday. It's relatively cold. It's only about 23 degrees here and we are in midst of chaos. So this will again be a very short podcast episode. I just hardly find the time to knit at the moment, but I will come to that at the end of the podcast during or under the topic of acquisitions. If you're new here to my channel, welcome. I am Saskia, a 36-year-old knitter from Switzerland. I started this podcast a bit more now than a year ago, just to be able to follow up of my knitting and what I'm doing. And yeah, I hope you like it. And if you do so, like and subscribe to my channel and like this video. I will be very happy if you did that. Now, without further ado, let's get started. Today I'm wearing the only finished object of this episode. It is my summer sorrel, and it is knit with the Forever Taiga yarns, silk merino. No, you can't see it, I'm sorry. It's Forever Taiga yarns. She's a hand dyer very close to where I live, like half an hour car's drive. And she has a little yarn studio there, and she's just a marvelous dyer. I mean, I haven't alternated skeins or anything, it's just, I just took them as they are, and even on the right side it looks wonderful. So this is silk high twist, 80% merino, 20% silk, 400 meters and 100 grams. And the color, not sure. She doesn't name them particularly, or I can't see it on the etiquette. So it's this lovely purple. It's just a wonderful color, and it has some, let me see if I can find some. It has some reddish speckles every now and then. So it's really a lovely yarn. I love knitting with it. The pattern told me to get a bit more than, like, I would use 2.5 balls of yarn. I actually didn't even use fully 2 balls of fingering skein. So yeah, this might be something for a stash buster or something. So, and the good thing is I can bring back this skein of yarn and exchange it for another color. I asked her, so the price is on the back still, it's untouched, it's unopened. So next time I go to my knitting class, meetup, I will take it with me and I will exchange it for some other hand-dyed yarn. I really liked to knit this summer sorrel. It is a wonderful pattern. It is so much fun to knit. It is by Wool and Pine. It's just lovely. It has these lovely details here around the yoke, and you can't see them that good now with the camera. It doesn't pick it up really nicely. The rest is knitted, well, it's the purl stitch section outside, but you knit it from the inside out, you would say, so you can knit stitches. So it's quite cleverly made, and I really love how these purl stitches look with the hand-dyed yarn. It gives it just a very different feel and a very different texture. I can show you what it looks like in knit stitch. So that's how it looks in knit stitch, and that's how it looks in purl stitch. So it's really different, and it was really cool if I kind of flipped it around to try it on and to see the difference, because I was knitting on the other side. I made a mixture of size 1 and 2, because bust-wise I wanted size 1, but I didn't like how the neckline was made. For me, for a summer shirt, it was too high up. So I actually cast on the stitch amount of size 2, and I just cast it on in a very normal, not long tail cast on, but it looks the same. It's made with a crochet hook around the knitting needle. So it's a very nice cast on, I think. It's a nice edging, and it's very non-stretchable, which is what I wanted, because I read that the cast on method they used, some people said that it's stretching out too much and they had to go back in and do something so it doesn't stretch out too much. As I took my neckline wider than they recommended, so that's why I chose a cast on that is very fixed. So this worked very well. Then they made short rows in the back, really at the beginning. I can show you this, that it's higher up in the back, a lot like in the front. So they made like 4 or 5 short rows in the back. And I did those exactly as to pattern, but when I tried it on, I thought it was still a bit too high up, and I decided to do some more short rows after the pattern ended on the yoke, but before I split for sleeves. So I did another 4, I did 4.5 short rows. I'll tell you why in a second. Yeah, that was one change. I added some more short rows after the pattern of the yoke was finished. So the neckline comes down even deeper because I really like that sloped neckline. My bust doesn't start till here, so I still have a lot of coverage, but I like this open feel on a summer shirt, and it's really a nice, soft, flowy, drapey fabric. I really love it. The other change I made was going from size 2 actually down to size 1, because you're very fixed with your charts for every size. What I did is, in between here, you have a certain amount of stitches that you kind of increase, and I calculated on how many I need to increase less to get to the size 1 amount of stitches, and I only increased every second of these spaces here, and I thought you would see it a lot, but you actually can't see it at all. So these spaces in between those longer ones of the rays, like sun rays or something, it's not always the same amount. That was a bit of a thing until I had found it out how to make it. So I did only the normal increases every second one. I could have done only 1 increase on one side each space, but I thought that's strange to knit, and it looks maybe strange, like it kind of, I was afraid it would do like a little twist in the ray. I wanted them to stay straight. So I did every second, and the others have smaller spaces in between, but you can't see that. Then when I finished, I did my short rows in the back. I didn't follow the instructions for how they change from the outside. You first knit it normal, like on this side, on the right side. And then when you only have would have purl stitches, they kind of turn it inside out and you knit the inside, so you can knit stitches. I did change differently than they do because I added some more short rows. The last short row I just did half a short row. I just went in one direction, and then I didn't turn and go back. I just knitted around, so I had 4.5 short rows kind of. It worked wonderfully, and then I just knitted until I had the length, and I did some waist increases, not much, just -4 stitches after my bust. I decreased 4 stitches, so I have a bit of a slight waist shape because my waist is really thin, and if I go straight it looks like an A shape. So I did that, and the rest I did to pattern. So the ribbing is to pattern. It's a 2x2 rib. I think it looks nice with the purl stitches and the 2x2 rib. Also did it on the sleeves, and it turned out, I like the ease it has. I like the length it has. it's a wonderful top to wear. I like wearing it, and I love the color. It's a wonderful color. I will love wearing it in autumn. Now let's go to works in progress. I still have my shawl, my summer shawl, the Foliosa. which I don't feel like knitting on at the moment, to be honest. I have decided what I wanted to do. I said I'd just knit it and go on and just invent some border. I looked up in my Vogue knitting pattern some lace border I can do instead of, that is kind of in the knitting direction and not in the other direction. So that's all fine, but I just don't feel it. Maybe I'm just a little bit over purple right now, I don't know, but I just don't feel like knitting a fingering weight shawl at the moment, so it will rest and I will take it back out when I feel it. Yeah, I have the Musselburgh hat, which I stopped working on during the summer because I didn't feel like knitting hats in the summer, although it was a cold summer. So I have that one to take out and finish soon. I might actually knit at it today. And yeah, I'm looking forward to have this one in winter when it's really cold. I have finished my socks. It was a half-finished object last time. I had one sock, and now I have two. And these are in a yarn that are really summery. So it's a lot of cotton viscose in it, so they are not woolly at all. So they will be my first socks I wear when I restart wearing my bed socks. They're quite loose fitting, which is good for sleeping socks. I don't mind. I still have to weave in the ends of the second one. Haven't done that yet. So yeah, they are finished, and I kind of refound my sock. I kind of refound my sock mojo. I really have trouble speaking today. I'm sorry. And I'll blend in a photo somewhere. I want to do the Forever Autumn socks by Stonette. It was a little small pattern she released with two patterned colorwork socks. One is with acorns all over it, and one is with autumn leaves, maple leaves kind of all over it. So I want to do them, but I, of course, have to change up the pattern. I also did her Domestica course to learn how you actually change up a pattern. I think it's turning out quite well. Can recommend the Domestica course if you're interested in. It's fun. I like it. And it's going to be a very colorful autumn sock. I'm going a bit crazy here, just because it's fun. That's how I got so far. And you can see I'm just above the heel. And you can see no acorns on the foot, because I still am not willing to knit a whole sock on magic loop. So I can get it over my foot, maybe. Hear me out. I'm a tight knitter. Really tight knitter. Normally that's not a problem. I just can size up or down and whatever I can manage. Where I have trouble managing it is with colorwork socks, because it will get too tight to actually put the socks on. I have no problem with colorwork mitts or fingerless mitts because it's a straight line. I can like slip in. But with the foot, where you have to go around the corner and you have the stretch on your foot, it's not working. I don't know. It's not working. So at the moment I'm practicing. I want to practice colorwork socks to find out what I have to do so they still have the stretch and the fit. And I found out I have to increase stitches, like 4 stitches. My normal sock stitch count is 56, and I have to go up on 2.75 millimeter needles, and I have to go up to 60 stitches, and I have to change to 3 millimeter circular needles. Thank you, circular needles. I can't use, as I normally prefer to do for socks, my double pointed needles. Guys, today is... So I can't use those. It's no way, even if I go up 2 sizes or 3 sizes of needles, I tried with 3.5 millimeter TPNs, it couldn't manage to put it over my foot. So what I want to do now is I changed up the acorn pattern, so they are a bit closer together. I don't have as many floats. So it will be a line, and then it will be slightly zigzag, but not as much as hers with all over the foot. It's a bit closer together. I hope that will work out. I think it should. And I will just make a border around the ankle, like not the ankle, the before the cuff. Thank you. So I have to knit up the leg now. And then I want to do my picot edge, double folded, not double folded, just folded, one time folded edge, cuff, and yeah. All these sock yarns are the ones I bought from the Swiss Yarn Festival. I really love them. From different dyers. Let me check the labels. And I thought she also does make the foot like green and the heel brown. So this is not my invention. It's taken from Stonet's pattern. She has a lighter middle part, and I love this pumpkin spice. That's actually very accurate. I just love the color combo. It's so autumny. I love it. Yeah, I'll show you next time what I've done and how it looks. So this green one I had before, and I already have some socks in this, and I love this yarn, really. It is Nina hand-dyed yarn. Fields of Yarn is selling it. In Switzerland, it's sold by Fields of Yarn. It's the twist sock Hunter in the Woods. 80% superwash merino wool and 20% nylon. 100 grams has 365 meters on it. And this is just one of the most gorgeous wools I have ever had. And the socks I have with them, they hold up so, I wore them so much last winter, and they held up so well. And I just love how it feels. I love how it looks. It's one of my favorite yarns, I guess. And guys, this yarn smells like heaven. I don't know what kind of washing powder she uses to wash it out, but it's incredible. It's like a flowery, fresh washed linen in the flower field. It's the best smelling yarn I've ever knitted with. Really, it's wonderful. Then we have the main color. We go just up the sock, along the sock. This gorgeous is Penny Lane yarns, and it's actually the next two yarns are new ones to me. I never knitted with them, and I saw them the last time in the Swiss Yarn Festival, but I didn't wanted to buy them. I already had bought that much, but this time I thought I want to take specific sock yarns from different dyers, so I kind of can test them in a sock and see how I like them. So far I like all three of them. So this is from Penny Lane yarns, hand dyed in Switzerland, and it's the Foot Lane, made by 70, I kind of killed it here. 75% merino, 25% polyamide, and I think it says 420 meters on 100 grams, so it's a little bit thinner than this one. It does not look like it, but it is a little bit thinner. That's also why I like this one. It's tiny bit thicker than the normal sock yarn. I just love that. It's a wonderful yarn. I love how it's knitting up. I do a little broken rip pattern, like you can see in between. I do not only 3x1. It's a 3x1, but every second row I just knit the whole row, and then I do a 3x1, 3 knit, 1 purl, 3 knit, 1 purl, and then I do another round, just knit other things. And I have, I just wanted to do something else, and I like the pattern it makes. Sorry, you can't see anything. I like the little pattern it makes when you stretch it. It's just lovely. And the third yarn is this really, it's a color. It's this dark chocolate brown color. And it's very tonal, so I'm impressed on how they dyed this one up. It's really impressive. And this is by Giggling Gecko yarns. Also someone I haven't tried yet, and it's Socklandia socks. 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon, 100 grams has 365 meters, so it's the same Those two are the same thickness actually, because it's both 365 yards, and I can see, I hope they are, if I do the color work part, that they are not peeking through the other one, because it's a tiny bit thinner, but I don't think so. Yeah. The name of this one is Double Fudge, and it's a wonderful name. And the other one doesn't have a name actually, it's just Fruit Lane. Oh yes, it has. Sorry, I forgot. This one is called Capsule F34. Color Capsule. Nice one. And this is Double Fudge. So yeah, this is my first sock of these acorn socks. It's really fun to knit. And I'm looking forward for the small color work part. Hope it will work out. The thing is, it's as close to the end. I can go back later. I can just kind of try it on afterwards and see if I can get it over my foot. And I hope it will work out. Plans and acquisitions, guys. It is not really directly connected to knitting, but very, very much indirectly. Because I actually acquired the place I am going to knit in for the next years of my life. We signed the last contract of the house on Tuesday, 13th of August, and I'm thrilled. I'm beside myself. It was this week, and explains it very well how I feel. I can't concentrate on anything else on the house. My partner and I talk constantly what to make, when to make, how to organize. My agenda on September is full every day. I have no clue how I'm going to do anything else besides. Well, I don't even have a clue how I'm going to manage to work in that month. Of course I'm going to work, but it's that full. I'm like, how am I going to do anything beside working and house? It's going to be a big move because I also have to move a garden now, which I didn't have to do when I moved in here. So acquisition for this episode is the house I'm going to knit in and store all my wool in and buy all the wools from and make my future podcasts. Biggest acquisition ever, I would say. It was really stressful the last days. Last week and this week, because I also had to prepare for the start of the school. But it's finally done. It's our house, and 2nd of September we can go in and start painting, start renovating a little bit. Yeah. I'm so excited. I'm so excited and overwhelmed, and if I'm not watching out, I will tear up right here and now. It's too much at the moment. Just the announcement, we bought the house and there will be no podcast episode in September. This will be the last podcast episode for a little while. Not too long. I promised you, I asked you last time, and I got a feedback saying that you would love to see like a little empty house tour. So I might do that in September, like just a little cell phone empty house tour, no cutting, just uploading. There it is. But there will not be a regular podcast episode in September. I don't know how to manage it, and I don't think I will have time to knit. I hope that there will be a podcast episode in October. It will also not be a huge one, because I will not have been knitting much, but I might have these socks finished or something, and I might have started on something new, but short one in October, and then we are hopefully back to normal. Excuse me for being that all over the place, weird, not at all clear maybe in this episode. See you whenever the time will let me see you. I don't want to feel stressed to do a podcast episode just because I have to. It's my hobby. I knit as a hobby. I knit when I want to. I don't knit for the podcast so I can show this and that and everything. I knit what I want and I podcast about it. And if I don't knit for a certain time, there's no podcast. Or there'll be special things like autumn patterns or something. If you want to have inspiration for autumn patterns, I made one last year and it has wonderful, also free patterns in it. Also watch the Advent special, I think it was the first one, where I did free gift knitting patterns for Christmas. If you want to start early, there are also winter patterns, so you could also use them for autumn knitting, winter knitting. Find me on Ravelry, I'm there as Eillets. Find me on Instagram as knitting_Eillets. I will not be there daily, so if I'm not writing back right away, don't be mad, I just haven't seen it yet. That's there, but it's a good way to contact me, and like it if you liked it, and subscribe to my channel if you want to. I would be happy if you did. See you somewhere in autumn, back after a big move, and in a new setting, obviously. It will not look like that at all. Thank you for staying with me and for having or enduring another longer break in this year. See you in autumn. Bye.